Good morning. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. Welcome to Journey Home Meditation this morning. It's Monday. I believe it's May 9th. Okay. Let's settle in, find our meditation posture. Maybe a mat on the floor, a pillow. Maybe you're in a chair like I am. Wherever you are, we're going to find balance. So we'll elongate the spine. Finding the sits bone so that we aren't straining to sit straight up. Now, if you can't get your spine to be completely straight and you have a difficult time sitting up for long periods, that's okay. You can make adjustments as needed. We just do what we can to bring ourselves into a place of as much balance as we can find. Looking for the place of total balance. With balance allows relaxation. So let's relax. Let's begin by scanning our body. We'll go from top to bottom and bottom to top. We don't have to take a long time to do this, just a quick move through with our awareness into our bodies. We'll start at the head, very top of the head. Relax the scalp, the forehead, the back of the head, and ears, the jaw, the eyebrows, the place between the eyes. Let the tongue come away from the roof of the mouth. You can keep your mouth closed or very slightly open, almost imperceptible. We're going to breathe in and out of our nose. Bring your attention to the neck, the shoulders, the upper back, upper chest. Let the shoulders drop down, the shoulder blades slightly rolled together, just to a point of opening the chest. Release any strain you're holding in your shoulder blades and allow the chest to fall open. And breathe. And check in with the middle back, the abdominal region, lower back, lower stomach, releasing any tension that you find. Check in with the hips, upper thighs, buttocks. The thighs and the knees, calves and shins. Ankles, feet, toes. Release any tension from the hands, the forearms. In this meditation posture, I'm holding my hands one laid on top of another, palms upward. But you may also rest your hands flat onto your lap, your knees. Palms up allows the shoulders to roll just slightly enough to assist in opening the breathing ways into the chest. Just a touch. It's very subtle. You can also hold a mudra, such as Chin Mudra or Jinin Mudra. Find your place of balance. And we'll begin back at the feet, moving upwards. And this time, as we move up, we will flex or tighten the muscles and then release. One in-breath to tighten, one out-breath to release. So beginning with the toes and feet. On the next in-breath, tighten the toes. And on the release, relax. Ankles and lower legs. And relax. Thighs, buttocks, hips. And relax. lower back, lower abdominals. And relax. Let's do our trunk, our upper abdominals, middle back, upper back, and chest. Nice and hard. And relax. We'll pull our shoulders up, and when we do, we'll clench our hands into fists. And relax. Tighten the face. Relax and breathe. In and out of the nose. You can allow the eyes to close or remain open with a soft gaze. And we'll move into a few minutes of silent meditation. If you're having a difficult time focusing the mind, calming the thoughts, bring your attention to your breath. I am breathing in. I am breathing out. Bring our awareness and attention back to the outside of our body. You can open the eyes slowly. And give yourself a nice stretch. And then we'll do a little bit of breathing together. Let's start with a nice, slow and deep breath. Let's breathe in the nose. And at the top of the breath, retain the breath for just a couple of moments. And we're not looking to strain, so don't breathe in so much so that it's causing pain or discomfort, and don't hold for so long that it's causing anxiety. Just stretching and opening our breath capacity, using our diaphragm, pulling it downward into our stomach. And begin. Hold and release 2 more of those. More. And return to natural breath. Notice any sensations the body may have. Remember, this is not a practice of achieving any specific state. It's a practice of cultivating curiosity. What is that feeling? Where is my breath? Let's do another round of 3 deep, slow breaths with a momentary pause at the top of the breath. And begin. And return to natural breath. And again, notice any new sensations. Notice how with very little effort and just a slight modification in your breath, the breath being the thing you already do in and out all day, but a slight intention and modification of the breath can bring pretty significant shifts in our bodies. And that can bring a very significant shift in our thoughts and in our minds and the way that they're working with our bodies. And this is a simple practice, and it's done with really techniques and not tools. And as simple as it is fundamental to the practice of meditation. The act of finding stillness is a practice, right? It's not just as simple as sit still and don't speak. If it were that simple, then I don't know if we would even have these discussions, if we would have this. Maybe it's a need, maybe it's a desire, a curiosity. But whatever it is that brought you here today, it doesn't matter, because you're here. Right? And now we are working together towards finding these inner places that calm and stillness can radiate from. Already from myself, I can say, nothing has changed in the world around me. My books are still on my table where they were, and my tea is still steaming in its cup. But admission, the only reason it's steaming is I remembered this morning to grab a candle for my teacup. So nothing outside of my body has changed. Nothing has changed about the rest of my day. Nothing has changed about the dreams I had last night in my sleep. And nothing has changed about anything except for my body, my experience within my body, to be more precise. And if this is the case with just a few moments of bringing our thoughts into our body and sitting in silence, taking some modified breathing, with just a few minutes of that practice, for myself, I was able to bring myself into this moment. Whereas before, my mind was wandering onto what I have going on later today. When I did my body scan, I really noticed that I'm still having a cramp in my left ankle that I overworked at the gym the other day. Like I had all of these thoughts going all of these different places, right? As I made my tea this morning, I noticed that I have a sink full of dishes from yesterday that I haven't done yet. So I started making my mental calendar, right, my schedule through the day. Well, after this, I got to do this, and after that, I got to do that, and then I'm going to want to take a bath or a shower, and then finish up these dishes, make lunch, and get out onto the road. I got to get to town today. I got errands to run, and should I do this? Maybe I should get dinner. Where should I get dinner? I don't know. Maybe I should probably pack dinner. I could just go to the store and just pick up something. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. So I had all these thoughts, right? And that was just a matter of a few seconds of thinking, and that's what we do. That's what I do, but I think that's what we do. Pretty standard. We're running a mile a minute in our minds. And I don't know if you are, but I know that I was not aware for a very long time exactly what I was doing, how I was exerting my body and my energy and using my gifts, my skills, my capacities to create anxiety. And we don't even necessarily think of it as anxiety or stress if it doesn't seem to be negative, but once we learn the practice of calling it back, calling it in, coming into our calm self, we can hear the noise of that chatter. Yep. We can hear the abrasiveness of it, really. Like, ooh, that's a whole lot of thinking going on. But I know for myself, when I can catch myself getting wrapped up into these mental movies, these whatever it is, and I could bring myself back to my breath, when I come back to my day, things are one thing at a time, a lot easier. You know, an inch is a cinch. A yard is hard and a mile takes a while. I think that's what the rhyme was when we were kids. So I come back to one movement at a time. But when I'm already 3 steps ahead, I'm skipping the experience of what's here now, noticing the pattern of the steam rising off of the cup. It's beautiful. It's serene and has this strange kind of nostalgia for what it is to have a moment with a cup of tea, right? But it's things like that that I would overlook and just drink my tea as quickly as I could, or my coffee, throw it in a to-go cup and take off. But thanks to these practices, I'm understanding now how slowing down for these moments is so imperative for not just my sense of well-being, but just my sense of being, my ability to be, and not get to the end of my day and have to take a huge exhale because I've been holding my breath in little ways throughout the day, right? You know, you see it, I see it at the gym all the time in the locker room. Guys come in from their heavy workouts, and sometimes I think maybe they're not breathing properly because they come in and they sit down and they go, oh, oh man. And then I remember like doing that myself, coming in from the end of the workday, right? And it's like I can't exhale until I get home and I fall into my couch. And then I just, and the whole day hits me all at once. And I just need to push food down my throat and fall asleep on the couch to the sound of a movie or something. Because I couldn't quite grasp why I was so exhausted. Didn't even know what I had done, you know. Spent the whole day just doing my list, but what happened to all of the spaces between? You know, if my wife or my kids would ask me, "What did you do today?" I could probably give them the checklist. I got the mail, I deposited some money at the bank. I paid some bills. Um, yeah, went to the storage unit, took an inventory, whatever it is. That's an entire day, right? That's an entire day there. There's like 4 or 5 things. And I couldn't say I sat and watched the steam dance at the top of my tea. And I don't know how long I spent doing that. And the tea was really warm, and I did the right ratio today, so it was fruity and earthy at the same time. It had a natural sweetness. It was great. Really enjoyed that cup of tea. You know, it's about regaining the experience of our own lives. That's what this practice is about. So people often come to these practices. We come here because we've heard somewhere, there was a documentary, a YouTube video, a friend, a TED Talk, an article in our Financial Weekly magazine stating the benefits of meditation in the workplace to create a more productive workforce. Whatever it is that brought us into these practices, what it's really about is different than what brought us here. We can almost guarantee that. Can almost guarantee that whatever it is that brought you here is not what kept you here. And I think that in some small way, what keeps me coming back to this practice is that it's giving me back my life moment by moment. And when I say it's giving me, it's me. It's myself. I am giving myself my life. That life that I gave away so many times to worry, to fear, to anxiety, to nostalgia. That life that I gave away to anger, bitterness. That life that I don't know what happened to for so many years. Right? I'm getting that back. I'm getting back rising a bit earlier to catch the sun coming up. And in doing that, I'm giving myself time to move slowly, giving myself space to breathe. And enjoying a hot cup of tea, just a small cup at a time. And I don't know if it's lowering my cholesterol and bringing down my blood pressure, and I don't know if it's boosting my immune system, and I don't know. But I've read that it is. I've seen studies that it does. And that's great. And if that's why you're here, that's great. But I can almost guarantee that what's going to keep you here, and not just in this sitting, but in these practices, in your space, in your life, is probably going to come down to something like, I watched a snowflake fall from above my tree line all the way to the ground. And I could pay attention the whole time. And it was beautiful. It's probably going to be something like, I got to have a conversation with my wife about something that was uncomfortable, and neither one of us got upset and walked away. So maybe today, in the question that we have, throw up in the chat here, we can say what it is we're finding in ourselves. What's bringing us here? What's bringing us back? For me, I started here years and years ago. Honestly, I started meditating because I thought that's what you did if you wanted to be a cool Buddhist poet. I think I was 20 years old, 21 maybe, 22, something in that range. And I built this little room that we had in Big Sur. My wife and I lived in Big Sur. It was just after the birth of our firstborn. A few months. I think Finn was 4 months old when we moved there. And we worked in a campground, so we lived in the campground, and because we were a family, we were able to live in a small cabin unit, not just a tent. And if we were there as individuals, then unless we paid extra out of pocket, we'd get a tent. But because both of us were working there, we were able to use that as an exchange for a small cabin. And this cabin had a very small bedroom, just big enough for the bed, a small kitchen, living room area in the shape of an L, and somebody had turned part of that front room into a separate bedroom. So we didn't need 2 bedrooms, so I turned that front room into a meditation room, library, a place to sit and smoke hookah, and I called it the Bodhi room. And I would get up early in the morning and I'd go down and I'd sit by the creek and I'd make sure I was in the perfect position, the perfect seating position, right? And I'd find the perfect rock and I'd sit on this perfect rock right where the sun would be coming up and streaming down Big Sur Creek, and there I was in stoic, perfect, statuesque position, looking like the Buddha, and the whole time thinking, how does this look? This looks pretty cool. How does this look? Oh man, you should have seen me meditating today. It looked pretty cool. Pretty sweet, dude. But hey, in my Bodhi room, I would sit on my platform. I'd come back from the creek and I'd sit there and I'd flip through, tomes of Gary Snyder or Ferlinghetti or Lao Tzu or whoever it was I was reading at that moment. And I'd contemplate and I'd smoke a hookah. And I'm not making fun of this. See, I'm just laughing. Because it is fun. I'm not making fun of it. I'm not laughing at myself necessarily. I'm laughing because it's joyful. It's joyful. And the thing is, even if I was there for what some people might think is the wrong reasons, right? I kept coming back. And kept coming back. And then I'd get busy and I'd lose track of the practice for years at a time. And I had a great life. It's not that the practice enhanced my life or made me a better person or that my life was worse without the practice. It's not a matter of that. But each time in my life, like a yo-yo almost, I would get farther away from the practice. And each time I got farther away, when I remembered the practice, I came back and it was like a whole new depth that I would get to. And it was at times such relief. Like that exhale when I got home from work, right? Like such relief. I'd sit down But I wasn't just letting off the day, right? I was letting off the weeks, months, and years from the last time that I had actually sat with myself. So now I come every day. Trice, Silas, hello, my brothers. It's good to see you this morning. Let's see. Trice says, it helps my breathing and the friendships. Awesome. So there's two very important things in what Trice said there. Helps my breathing. So I know Trice personally, and I know that breath is beyond just the ability to breathe in and out for Trice. This is a central aspect of Trice's day, you know. And so the fact that these practices can help him to breathe more freely, and he's kept these for a long time. This isn't new to him, but that's huge. And then the second part, the friendships. Exactly. This is the Sangha. This is what is the Sangha is the group that gathers around the practice. And the point of that is to have a community where we share with one another the the things, the landmarks that we find in these practices along the way. We find the slight adjustments that we made. Oh, you know, I was having this issue with my feet always getting really numb. And so I changed this slight position in my posture, and now I can sit, you know, and my flexibility is huge. Like small things like this. And then we can share the big things. The hey, I was able to touch in deeper to some pain that I had and have some forgiveness. That's the power of this being a community-based practice, not just an individual practice. Because this is connecting. This is connecting. So thank you, Trice. Very important. Silas says, it's the only thing that I found that actually helps with my anger. Yep. And I think, Silas, the most important two words there is at the end, it's my anger. Even the ability to own our own emotions. For me to be able to say, I have anger, not you make me angry. That's a shift. That's a huge shift. And it's one of those things like we talk about in this practice. The most subtle of movements can create the largest of change, right? And it's that subtle shift from my anger to you, from you make me angry to my anger. And then once it's mine, I can deal with it. I can sit down and I can, okay, well, here it is. I have anger. Well, what are we going to do about that? Well, I guess I probably never seen a time in my life where anger wasn't there somewhere. So instead of rejecting it and acting like I don't have it, it's just as much as my nose. I can't act like I don't have a nose. So so I sit with it and I learn it and I love it and I learn how to use it properly. You know, my nose I use for breathing in and out all day. You know, maybe in my unhealthy times I used my nose for other things. Maybe I was breathing in something I shouldn't have been breathing in with that nose. Something, you know. But when I was unhealthy about it, I didn't care for it. Right? When I didn't care for it, it was wild. It got itself, my nose got itself into everybody's business that it didn't belong. My nose got myself into piles and piles of white powders. My nose got me into places that I probably didn't need to be. But I guess I did. I did need to be there. That's true. It's true. Everything that has happened because I needed to experience that thing for whatever reason. This is true. Right? And I know it's a difficult truth sometimes when we think about some of the most terrible things that happen to people or to ourselves, or maybe some of the terrible things we've done. It can be a difficult thing, and people get really angry and defensive if you say, yeah, well, you know, that happened to me for a reason. People get really upset sometimes, and that's okay. They're allowed to be upset. We don't, nor do we want to control them, or do we get to control the way people feel or behave or react. We only get to experience our behaviors and our reactions from a position of ownership. So Silas, when you say that it helps with my anger, I see a huge amount of ownership there. Right? And it's kind of like if you have a dog that likes to jump on people and run wild, you know. That's my dog. Let me take responsibility for that. Let me bring that dog back in. You know. Now that's my nose. Let me put it back onto my face where it belongs. And let's be friends with it. All right? Let's make friends with our emotions because they're there. And they're there for probably the rest of our lives. But they don't have to dominate or control. And they certainly don't get to hold the narration of our lives. You know? But that's what it is. This is about the narration of our lives. This is about how we get to experience this body and this mind. And when we can bring it all the way back in to being fully my experience within this space, everything is happening right here, right now. I can go anywhere, I can be anything, right here, right now. Right? And when you can be anything, then the best thing to be is yourself. Because there's no restrictions on that. So you don't have to be anything at all. You can be anything. And it's a different framework. Then I don't know if it's irony. I don't know if it's some cosmic joke. But once I can bring all of my focus, attention, and awareness right inside, go deeper into that inner space, then amazingly, the world outside is so much bigger. Right? Because where once I could look out this window right here and I could see the trees, now I come out of these spaces of inner depth, meditation, and I take notice of the smallest strands of lichen on the tree branch. I see the fluttering of the new maple leaves. I see the falling of snowflakes, still falling. We're 1/3 of the way through the month of May, and there's snowflakes falling in between all of the limbs and branches of these trees. Right? I can still see the dancing steam coming off of this cup of tea right here. Yeah. Maybe I can even, I don't know if you can see, yeah, maybe you can see that in the camera there. But so by going inward to a small space, With intention, I focus all of my thought and my energy and my body into a calmness, bringing myself inward completely, finding that place of inner silence. I come out and I no longer have to tell the story of what's there. I get to experience it. So when I say this practice is about giving you your life back in tiny moments, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. Tiny moments. We've got more. The openness of ourselves. Right. Right. The openness of ourselves. Yeah. Because when I'm closed off, right? When I'm so in my head and in my mind and worried about everything, I'm not open. I'm on a schedule. I've got things to do. There's not much openness there. And if anything somebody says that contradicts my identity, who I am, who I think I am, who I want you to think I am, I close. I form a very articulate shell around who that is to protect it. I need to protect that identity that I'm trying to project. But this practice, in giving me back my tiny moments, really helps me to say, hey, you're not right about everything, dude. This big, big news for you here, bud. Not only are you not right, but you don't really care about being right. You don't really care about that. And that's an amazing shift. And then you open. Because instead of being right, I'm going to be right here. I'm going to be right now. That's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful, beautiful place to be. And this is why when you sit in meditation groups, sometimes people get really flowery and we say things that we really, really mean, things that are absolutely true to us. Like, you are absolutely beautiful right now. You are wonderful right now. And it's not just some kind of a talk that we're having with one another, pretending. I'm sure sometimes it is for some people, but I'm not concerned about sometimes in some people. I'm concerned about this time and these people, this moment. And this doesn't require cynicism, and it doesn't require sarcasm, and it doesn't require lip service. That when we are open, we're like the lilies of the valley, right? A field of flowers, just opened to receive the beautiful sun. And that's something that's just lovely to experience. Whether it's standing alone in a meadow full of flowers or it's sitting in a room full of people in meditation who are opening themselves, it's beautiful. And it doesn't matter who they are in their day. It doesn't matter who we portray ourselves to be or what bumper stickers we have or how we tell the world our moral compasses. That doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Because in the moments of your beauty, you are open. So that's right. Okay. This is a long time this morning. We're increasing our morning sits together. But, I feel like this is the feeling today is really good. And Saturday, yeah, I was just dragging out of bed. I had the sore ankle after the gym. I went to the gym on Thursday and did I knew I was going to be busy for Friday and Saturday, so I knew I wouldn't be going to the gym until Sunday, most likely. So I did this extra hard workout, and I got these new shoes I'm really excited about that are like, these cutting edge 5 finger shoes. They're basically like there's a space for each of my toes, and it keeps my toes separated, which is what I really need because I have compressed feet with bunions and gout and arthritis. My toes are really kind of an issue. So I got these special shoes, but I did not, like, the stubborn person that I can be, read, or I did read, but I did not listen to the instructions to start slowly with these shoes and not overdo the use of them. And I did an entire workout at the gym, and then this trainer I was talking with, we're working out together, and he's like, hitting the cardio after the weights is a really good way to like bring the muscles back down, relax the body, and raise the cardio levels. Is really good. So maybe try that. And I was like, yeah, I'll do that. So I went straight from the workout over to the treadmill, and I'm walking fast, jogging. I do a couple runs. I come back down to a jog, and then a brisk walk, and you're only supposed to be on these shoes for like 15 to 20 minutes at a time for the first few weeks, right? And here I was already 2.5 hours in the gym, and then I get on the cardio, and I felt a pop in the top of my left foot, and I knew, oh Lord, I knew. And yeah, by the time Saturday came around, being the third day, it was difficult to get out of bed, and my mind wasn't all there for the Saturday sutras. Uh, so today it's still tender, but I'm being tender with it, and I feel really good, and I feel really good to be here today. So thanks, y'all. I put my hands together in the recognized position of gratitude and prayer. And I'm grateful today for the gift of the tiny moments. And my prayer is that may all beings open like so many blossoms. And sit in beauty. Hari Om. Thanks for joining me on the journey home. Today's music was provided by Benjy Wertheimer, and the track that we played is Lotus from the album Within, and that's Benjy Wertheimer with David Michael. And so we're grateful to Benjy. That's Benjy Wertheimer. So check out Benjy's music and his social media presences, and support the artists who support our Sangha. Check out the new group page. There's a new group on Facebook, Journey Home Sangha. That's Sangha. So yeah, check that out. I might be switching one of these broadcasts from my personal Facebook page to the Sangha group page. So it would be both on Journey Home Meditations page as well as Journey Home Sangha instead of my personal page. And the only reason I would be doing that is I don't have enough locations here to be able to add another one without switching out one. So for now, that's what I think I might do. But yes, I'll see you all tomorrow morning, 7:30 in the morning. It's 2-Minute Tuesday tomorrow, and tomorrow we'll be working on some mudras for our 2-minute practice. And I might even throw a chant in there to correlate with the mudra, the hand position. So we'll see you 7:30 tomorrow morning. Blessings to you all, and yeah. All right. Take care, guys.